You hear the term everywhere, right? Machine learning. It might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's already a huge part of your daily life. So what is it really? Let's break it down.
Have you ever wondered how Netflix or YouTube just knows what you want to watch next? I mean, it's uncanny. Well, that's not a lucky guess. That's machine learning doing its thing, analyzing what you watch to serve up your next favorite show. And what about when you upload a photo, and your social media app automatically recognizes your friends' faces? Yep, you guessed it, that's machine learning too. It's this invisible engine that powers so many of the smart features we use without even thinking about it.
Okay, so we know what it does, but what actually is it? How does a machine, well, learn? Let's get into it.
The first thing to get is that it's not magic, even though sometimes it totally feels like it. At its heart, machine learning is just a really powerful method for teaching computers to find patterns and make decisions, all based on data.
I love this definition from the Royal Society because it gets to the core of it. See, instead of a programmer having to write out step-by-step instructions for every single possible situation, we give the computer the ability to learn on its own. It learns to spot patterns, kind of like we do.
So how does that learning process actually happen? Well, you can think of it like a simple three-step recipe that turns a bunch of raw data into some pretty smart predictions.
First, you feed the machine a ton of data. And I mean a ton. For example, data on thousands of houses, their size, location, number of bedrooms, and what they sold for. Second, the machine's algorithm sifts through all that data to find hidden connections. It might learn that, hey, houses in this neighborhood of more than 2 bathrooms tend to sell for more. And third, it uses those patterns it found to make a prediction about brand new data, like guessing the price of a house that just hit the market.
And this little diagram here just shows us a slightly more technical view of that same process. All that data we talked about, the house size, the location, those are called features. The price, which is what we want to predict, that's the target. The algorithm, or the learner, studies the relationship between those features and the target to create what's called a model. You can think of the model as the brain that has now learned how to predict house prices. It's a really powerful cycle.
Now, here's where it gets really cool. Not all machine learning is the same. There are actually 3 main ways machines learn. And we can think of them as learning with a teacher, learning like a detective, or learning through just plain old trial and error. So here are our 3 learning styles side by side. You've got supervised learning, which is like having a teacher with an answer key. Then there's unsupervised learning, where you're more like a detective trying to find clues on your own. And finally, reinforcement learning, which is all about trial and error, kind of like training a puppy. Now let's dive into each one real quick.
First up is supervised learning. This is the most common type. We call it supervised because we give the algorithm data that already has the correct answers or labels. Your spam filter is the perfect example. We train it on thousands of emails that have already been marked by people as spam or not spam. The algorithm learns what spam looks like and then applies that knowledge to all the new emails that come in.
Here's a super simple example of that labeled data. The algorithm gets some patient info, like gender and age, and it also gets the correct label, whether they were sick or healthy. By looking at a bunch of these, it learns to predict the outcome for a new patient. The key thing to remember is the right answer is provided from the start.
But what if you don't have an answer key? Well, that's where unsupervised learning comes in. Here, there are no labels, no teacher. The algorithm is like a detective thrown into a room full of clues with 0 instructions. Its job is to find the hidden patterns all by itself. For instance, a company could use it to look at customer data and find natural groups of people with similar buying habits without ever telling it what groups to look for.
And finally, there's reinforcement learning. This is all about learning from actions. An algorithm, we call it an agent, is put in a situation and it learns by doing. If it takes an action that leads to a good outcome, it gets a reward. A bad one, it gets a penalty. And over millions of tries, it figures out the best strategy to get the most rewards. This is exactly how we've taught AI to become unbeatable at complex games like chess and Go.
So, now that we know the different ways machines learn, let's connect it all back to our daily lives. Because I'm telling you, once you start looking, you see this stuff is absolutely everywhere.
We've already talked about recommendations and spam filters, but it's also how your bank spots weird credit card transactions by seeing patterns that don't match your usual spending. It's what lets Siri and Alexa actually understand what you're saying, and it's at the very heart of huge innovations like self-driving cars and even helping doctors make more accurate diagnoses. Okay, one last thing, but it's a really important one. You probably hear the terms artificial intelligence and machine learning thrown around together a lot, and they're related for sure, but they are not the same thing. Think of it like this.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the whole big field of science. It's the broad goal of making machines intelligent. Machine learning, on the other hand, is one of the most powerful ways we achieve AI. It's a specific set of tools within that bigger field. So all machine learning is AI, but not all AI is machine learning.
Machine learning is already reshaping our world in some pretty deep ways, basically by turning massive amounts of data into smart, useful actions. But honestly, this is just the beginning.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. The potential is just staggering. I mean, we're talking about everything from super personalized medicine to creating more efficient cities and unlocking scientific discoveries we haven't even dreamed of yet. The ability for machines to learn from data is one of the most powerful tools we've ever built.
And that leaves us with one last fascinating question. We've built these machines that can learn from our data, from our experiences. So the real question for the future is, what do we want to teach them? What problems are we going to ask them to solve next? The answer to that is going to define our future. Thanks for watching.